Okay, basically what I'm going to do is quickly, it's based on a book. The book is called 21 Habits of Productivity, Double Your Productivity. So I'm going to go really quickly through the 21 points to be more productive, right? So the first point is to make a decision. So in that decision is you can either choose to do something or to not do something. For example, if you want to do something, go ahead and do it. And if there's something you hate, then stop doing it. Decisiveness is developed through repetition. So the more you keep doing something and repeat, you will eventually get better at it. The first point is still to decide on what you want. Right. No, that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's cool. The next point is, yeah, it's cool. Self-discipline is the ability to make yourself do what you shouldn't be doing, whether you feel like it or not. So let's say you, for example, let's say you hate reading books, which some people can actually agree to. For example, if you hate it, for example, if you hate reading books, they're still incredibly good for you. So even if you don't like it, or you may not feel like doing it, force yourself to do it, because that's one of the keys. The second idea is to set clear goals. So by physically writing them on paper, you crystallize them. So although it might be a thought, by writing on paper, you physically crystallize it.
Is it hexagonal close packing or monoclinic or...
Damn, homie, I don't know. So by writing it down on paper physically, you crystallize the thoughts. And also do it as you're doing it, as you're writing it down, do it in the present tense. That's where the mind actually reacts in response to it.
What happens if you write it in the past?
That's fine.
What if you write it in the past tense?
Then your mind will lock onto it. And it's important to review your goals recently, so maybe once every week or so, once like month, weekly, monthly. And so if you evolve, it's good to also evolve your goals alongside too. Third step is to plan every day in advance. So proper planning is the mark of the professional. So for example, there's a 90-10 rule. So the first 10% of your time spent planning will save you 90% of your day. The writing sharpens thinking, which allows for creativity. So the idea was to write a monthly list or weekly list and their list the night before. That way your subconscious mind can work on it during the night times. So for example, what I had was an idea of an achievement and a to-do list. So every time I fucking achieve something, I go on an achievement list. So what I did, when I got my fucking 7th or 10th makeout, I fucking wrote it on a list. 3 makeouts in a night on the list. Then comes the ABCD method. That's a way of time of management. So for example, it works on everything. Your time is split between 4 things. And the 4 things are most valuable. So for example, what is urgent and important, urgent but not important, not urgent but important, and not urgent or important. So basically that came from the principle, if you go read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, that was in there. So that's sort of links together. That's what I said, bitch. The 5th step is to separate what's urgent from important. And you increase your productivity by spending time on what is important than what is urgent. So for example, also think about what is important in the future, whereas as important now. 6th step, use the law of forced efficiency. There's never enough time to do everything, but there's so much time to do what's important. So for example, there might not be enough time to fucking play Xbox, to go eat food and do all that stuff, but there's plenty of time to focus on what's important for you. Also, there's this belief, and I will talk about this in further stuff, but the idea is that no one works well under pressure, although I think I do, but I'll talk about this another time. But no one works well under pressure, by the pressure of deadlines. So try to often ask yourself, what is the most valuable use of my time right now? And try to ask yourself like that, recently. Then, step 7, apply the 80-20 rule. Vital few 20% will amount for 90% of the value of all the things you do. And so, 80% of the things you do will only value for 20% of your activities. Procrastinating activities so if you're going to ever procrastinate on anything, do it on the 80 activities, or 80% of the activities, because they're usually low value and so unimportant. The 8th step is to work at your energy peaks. So throughout the day, everyone has a certain time where at the highest peak of energy. And so work on during those energy peaks. the the generation, to generate and maintain proper energy levels, practice proper eating, proper exercise, and proper rest. So, for example, you can eat high protein foods, fruits, vegetables, and try to avoid sugars. So try to avoid sugars, white flour foods, candy. What you can do is you can go and read a book called The Ultimate Solution by Mike Hyman. And basically that book will like change everything the way you eat. But what I do now is I take like 8 pills a day. I'm still not taking 25,
Crazy.
but I'm still taking 8 pills a day, which are technically super helpful. So try doing that. So yeah. Get regular exercise. So for example, 3 to 5 times a week for 30 to 60 minutes. Regular exercise keeps your system up healthy. Also, it's important to get loads of rest, meaning minimum sleep 7 to 8 hours, and identify time of the day when you're most alert. So throughout the day you have energy. So throughout the day you have different energy peaks at different times. Try to identify when your energy peak is, and so spend that time of the day doing what's most important of the day. Work at your energy peaks. Practice single-handed behavior. If there's something important you have to do, do it. Do it and do it until it's actually done.
No, you don't do it,
You do it. And so, like, discipline yourself in order to do it. Completing such tasks will actually release endorphins, which in turn would boost your, Endorphins boost your happiness level, so you will also feel happier for it too. And that will make you also feel more energetic. So as soon as you do a task, that will give you the energy required anyway. So you feel like doing more. Rule 10, wake up and eat the frog.
What the fuck?
The frog is basically the frog refers to the most challenging thing of the day. 10th rule again is to discipline yourself to do whatever's most important of the day first and whatever you're going to hate. So for example, if you wake up early in the morning and do the most awful thing of the day first, then throughout the day, whatever happens, it's not going to be as bad because you've already done the worst thing. And also, as soon as you wake up, do that thing. So don't eat food, don't do anything else. As soon as you wake up, do that shit. 11, organize your workspace. Highly proactive people work from a clear space. Make it a habit to clean up and work at a clear space. I usually do that every 2 or 3 days. I'll like clean my room. And also, if you hate doing it, try to find ways to do it. So for example, what I do is I enjoy listening to music while I was doing it. And so I spend most of the time actually like having fun listening to music while I was doing it. So that's pretty cool. If you haven't used something in the last 6 months, throw it away. Rule 12, use your fucking travel time productively. So for example, driving, flying, anything. That time can be most productive. Perhaps you can listen to audiobooks. That would make fair sense, wouldn't it? That's fine. That's fine, it's not a problem. And also, it's important to begin as soon as you do it. So for example, as soon as you get on a plane, start doing the productive activity straight away. That way your time doesn't... we usually begin to rationalize things, and so as soon as you get on the plane or the bus or whatever, get your stuff out, start doing it straight away. Every minute counts. Get better at your key tasks. The better you get at doing important things, the less time you would waste. Also, it's important to ask yourself what skill, if you developed it now, will have the most influential effect on your future self. On your future self, income and relationships. You must find out the answer, and also it's important to set a deadline and every day do one thing that actually gets you closer to it. Rule 14. Rule 14, work in real time. For example, complete jobs immediately as soon as you set them. If a job ever takes less than 2 minutes, fucking do the fucking job. So for example, my example is with tea. So do it right away. Doing things quickly as they come up. Doing things quickly as they come up is a vital part of productivity. Step 15, re-engineer your work. Many jobs these days involve multitasking, and so some parts of that are a waste of time. So for example, if you're creative and look for ways to consolidate your steps in time, that would help you to then put that time into other work. So try to simplify your tasks and jobs as soon as you can, in the simplest ways possible. It's number 16, reinvent yourself each year or less. So it's the idea of evaluate what you're currently doing and what you'd like to be doing and make sure they're in an alignment. Number 16, practice zero-based thinking regularly. Is there anything in your life that, knowing what you know now, you wouldn't get into? If you had to do it over again. Basically, all relationships, business opportunities, stuff like that are like an investment. So if there's something you don't like, get out of it as fast as you can. Rule 18, set clear past priorities. So it's basically past priorities. Something you do less of or later, for you to do something new or different, then you must discontinue something you're currently doing. Meaning, if there is something you'd like to do, if there is something, activity, habit, whatever you like to do, now, it's that you can't do it because there's something else in the way. So for example, you're doing something else instead. So discontinue doing that activity and fill your time with the new activity. Okay, basically the battery or the memory storage on the camera ran out. So what we're going to do is record a final few with my phone. So rule 19 was maintain a healthy life balance. So 85% of happiness comes from relationships with people, and only 15% comes from actual accomplishments in life. So for example, try to stay focused on the 85%. So try keep all your relationships with people happy. Look at this beautiful scenery. There's not much, but you'll do. So try to keep your relationships happy with people and focus your principles on 85 to 15% ratio. Rule 20 is to plan every project carefully. For example, if you're going to begin a brand new project, start with each project with the end result. So starting with the end result in mind it will save you time, but it would also benefit you in all the ways because each step of the way is pretty clearly set out. Also write a list of all the important steps and prioritize them in order of importance. That would also be helpful. Also it's important to, after you process, assign responsibility. So assign appropriate responsibility to the appropriate people. So if someone is good at a specific skill, give that to them. Don't give it to the guy good at making benches. Don't give him the ability to write multi-formula equations. Always plan for the worst. Always plan for the worst that could happen and account for it, just in case. The 21st step and final step is to be intensely action-orientated. Because most people are generally impatient, and therefore the top performers in the world are the ones who take action. I'm sure we've all met people who they can talk a lot. So for example, say I can do that or I can do that. And people will generally talk till they're deaf, but that's not taking action. Only taking action is the action. We only get paid for results. So pick up the pace, because the faster you move, the more you get done. And so the better you feel. That's the general principles of the 21 methods of productivity. So that'd be pretty fucking